So we're making a quick trip to Oklahoma to do just a couple things, kind of hang a fence. No, put another post in. The gate's already in. And move the camper over to our property. And we had rain last week, and apparently it was too much. So here's our first creek that we cross, and this is the easy creek, but apparently it was too deep and actually went into my intake just enough to kill over. And so here we are just driving along through the water. Seemed like it was about a foot deep, and then the truck hit a washed out area under the water like a pothole. It dipped down and apparently took on some water. And as we approached the incline to get out of the water, the truck completely killed over and died. At this point, we didn't know what to do. So we called our friends in Texas that have land next to us. And in turn, they called the guy that has land next to them in Oklahoma. And then he called his cousin, and his cousin showed up and said, "You're too far across the creek. I can't pull you back." So he called the first responders.
Please help.
There were so many first responders that when they had gotten us across the creek, they backed up and were turning around, and trucks were getting stuck left and right by pulling off the side of the road. We were riding in the fire chief's truck back to the fire department after everybody got turned around. And he said that the reason there were so many first responders was because the guy that reported our incident said that there was a couple stuck in the middle of the creek in a side-by-side with a 3-month-old. So there were several different fire stations that had dispatched first responders. So we're getting ready for bed. It is 11:30. Kind of give you an update of what happened.
Leave him alone.
The idea was that we get the boat, get out, go home, and come back and get the truck later when we can. And so they unloaded the boat. We grabbed our clothes, grabbed our food, and grabbed our whatever we could that we knew we needed, except our phone chargers. So
And we didn't grab the car seat either.
or the car seat. So phones are about to die, and no car seat. So we've been holding Emma, which is kind of scary. But we've only driven maybe 4 miles.
Yeah,
So
but we were with the fire department chief, so.
so our neighbors from Texas were coming up, and they said, you know what? Instead of just driving all the way back to Texas, why don't you
Let's get a hotel.
Let's get a hotel. We were able to make our sandwiches and things like that.
At the fire department, yeah. Have dinner. Yeah, I grabbed all of that from the truck.
And then
And Emma got showered with gifts from the fire department. The guy
what was her name?
Charlotte and Tim. Tim kept on giving her gifts, like little coloring books and toys and a fire hat and stickers and all kinds of stuff. She was so excited. She thought it was an adventure. She was on the way back from the situation to the fire department. He turned on the lights for her and turned on the siren for a minute so that she could hear it. Like, she had a good time.
Then Charlotte called, found out we were looking to stay in town and just come back tomorrow, instead of going all the way home. and she called a coworker. I guess he's a teacher, and he has houses he rents to people that go off-roading, and they'll bring their ATVs up and go to the ATV park. And he has many houses apparently he rents out to them. And she got a hold of him, and he said that he would allow us to use one of their houses that he had available. Because of the high water, they're not rented out. So she came in and said, hey, sounds like we got you a house, let's pack up, we'll go. And so we were able to call our
across the street.
Texas neighbors and say, hey, we're headed to a house, we'll give you the address when we get there. And sure enough, it was right across the street from the fire department. So that's where we're at now. We're actually in the little house that he has, and has 3 queen beds, and we made Emma a little pallet on the floor.
One that says we were.
That says what? Like the siren? And one of the guys we met there is supposed to be able to pull my truck out tomorrow. We're hoping that it just was a sensor that shut the motor off, since it was practically out of the water anyway. I think that's what it was a sensor. And it might be dry enough tomorrow to start, but we need to tow it all the way to Hugo, Oklahoma, to get the Ford dealership. So stay tuned.
What?
You ready for tomorrow?
No,
Get our truck back?
hopefully.
Hopefully get in. This is the last photo I took of our Oklahoma trip. Unfortunately, we never did get to our Oklahoma land. However, we did get our truck hauled out of the water and up to a paved road. A wrecker intern took it to Hugo, Oklahoma, the closest Ford dealership to run a diagnostic test. In turn, he's supposed to run a diagnostic and let us know what's wrong with the truck. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to keep up with our Oklahoma adventures.